Welcome to From Rome Info video. My name is Brother Alexis Bugnolo, and I'm the publisher and editor of FromRome.info, an electronic journal for news and information, which you can find on the web at FromRome.info. As you know, if you're a reader of my site, that at the beginning of July I stopped writing at FromRome.info. I did that for several reasons. One, because the topics I cover are no longer of great interest, and I was seeing that from the statistics of the site and the number of views. Many, though, have asked, what have I been doing in the last year since I left Rome? First of all, I want to thank everyone for supporting my Hermitage appeal last fall. You were very generous, and it's on those funds that I've been living the last year as a guest in the house of my relatives here in the United States. You see my maternal family crest on the wall next to me. But now, after recharging, lots of prayer, I want to dedicate myself to the continued apostolate I have undertaken for 8 years. That is the defense and assistance of persecuted Christians. And you might know of my work. You see me publish it frequently on the net. So the specific project that I'm talking about today is the Pious Association of St. Louis IX. And that is because St. Louis IX, King of France, is the archetypical example of the perfect Catholic ruler, politician, head of state. He organized the 7th and the 8th Crusades, which were defensive wars to protect the Holy Land and to free Christians from being kidnapped on the high seas in the Mediterranean. He's the only king of France who was canonized. And he lived an exemplary life of Christian piety, so much so that he is a patron saint for the Third Order of St. Francis and the Third Order of St. Dominic. His entire spirit of life, of living entirely for Christ the King, is a very timely spirituality for our age, if you've been following anything in social media. So there's a lot of talk about Christ the King and making Christ the King again, and making the West great again. But most of that talk on social media is merely being used for political purposes of advancing one party's political agenda over another and getting you to vote one way or not. People who are using this almost never talk about helping persecuted Christians. That's not why they're using this phrase. So this phrase, restore Christ the King, or make Christ the King again, or Christ is the King, we should take seriously as Catholics, as Christians. I'm a Catholic. This is a very serious phrase. It means a lot. It means much more than a political goal. And for this reason, I want to found the Pious Association of St. Louis IX, because he understood what these words meant. He dedicated his entire kingdom of France to the service of Christ the King, that is, to the assistance and relief of persecuted Christians around the world, far beyond the boundaries of his kingdom. And he is one of the first Christian kings to practice, as you would say, a Christian foreign policy, or a Christian policy of state, or Christian geopolitics. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the many good examples of other world leaders have done this in the last 900 years of his life, since he passed away in 1270. So the Pious Association of St. Louis IX is kind of like a spiritual club in which we Catholics associate, and we pray to Christ through the intercession of the saint, trying to imitate his life of charity, where he not only is humble in the sight of Christ, not only recognizes Christ is King, but he tries to walk in the footsteps of Christ, of dedicating his life for the help of others, particularly Christians. And St. Louis IX did this by helping persecuted Christians, Christians who are victims of unjust war and terrorism. And so I'm making an appeal to everyone to help me in this new apostolate called the Pious Association of St. Louis IX, and I will put a link in this show page. And I'm doing a video here on YouTube, which is, you haven't seen me do for about a year or two now, because all my emails are being censored and my social media reach has been censored. So I can't say anything on any platform like Facebook or Twitter or Gab that you will hear. It will be censored and will never be allowed to get to you. So I'm hoping that still on YouTube, If you're subscribed to this channel, you're going to see this video and be able to hear what I have to say. And I'll put a link to the Pious Association's website or webpage on the notes of this video. And I won't say anything more about it here, so this video doesn't get censored. But I ask you to be just as generous as last year, if not more. As you know, unlike most religious, I am a Franciscan brother, has no one to help. There's no one to help me. I don't have any bank account, I don't have insurance, I don't have employment, I don't have anyone who sponsors me. Everything I do because you, my benefactors, enable me to do it. So without your help, I can't do anything. I basically have to sit idle. And during the last year or so, since I've come back from the United States, that's basically what I did. My health wasn't so good, so I had a lot of time to pray and recover my health, eat well, and rest in a very peaceful environment here with my relatives in the United States. But now I'm ready for the apostle again to go out on mission, but I can't do it without you. And I know you're my loyal fans from the years I did From Rome Info, in which I gave you all the information about the current events. And I hope you feel grateful for what I did and remember to help me, because I don't have many benefactors. I only have you. Before I did FromRome.info, no one knew who I was and no one cared for what I did. So I'm not a marketeer. I'm not a slogan person. I'm not the most photogenic person. But I try to do good things for the love of Jesus Christ, and I always try to encourage everyone else to do the same thing. So I ask you to help me in this apostolate. I need a substantial amount to begin this apostolate, so please come to the link, read what it says, and you can make a donation either by credit card, PayPal, Zelle Pay, or bank wire in US dollars, euros, pounds sterling, Canadian dollars, or Australian dollars. So there's a lot of ways you can help, and I'm counting on you because I've made this appeal already in the last few days to my email contacts and from Rome, and only one person has responded. And I thank that donor from Ireland who sent $103, but that's nowhere near what is needed. And so I ask you to take to heart what I have to say in this message and help me start a new apostolate. Will you be able to hear me talk about spiritual things and sometimes comment about world events, but always encourage you to help me help persecuted Christians. Thank you, and God bless. Ave Maria.